Hi everybody, welcome to Turtley Cute Creations YouTube channel. We are a mother-daughter team that started our Etsy shop in June of 2025, and we have created some templates for business professionals, and parties will be coming soon, but mainly right now we're focusing on real estate business professionals that want to connect with their clients, bring them something fun, and have a little tag to bring along with it or attached to your gift. So today what I'm going to talk about is just some very basic tips about our templates and using them in Canva. If you are already a very versed Canva user, then this is probably going to be just a recap for you. Maybe you want to watch it to get some tips and tricks specifically for our templates, but it is a very basic overview video of using our templates. So let's go to our template. Today we're going to talk about changing your headshot. We're going to talk about making sure that you have saved and preserved the original document so that if there's any mistakes or errors, you can quickly move on to, fixing it and getting it the way that you want. We're going to talk about making sure that things line up for you and look good when you have your tag. And we're also going to talk about just getting it ready to go to print, and we're going to talk a little bit about color changing. So let's start with preserving the template. So I think the easiest way, you could do it two ways. I think the easiest way is to do a duplicate. So when you receive our template from the PDF and you download it into your Canva product, whether you're using Canva Pro or Canva Free, you have these little options up here. And if you have a second design, you'll also have a trash can, but right now it doesn't because you only have one design. But let's say that you like this template, but you're not super versed in Canva and you want to kind of mess around with it a little bit, get to know it, that kind of thing. Well, my recommendation is, so that you don't worry about changing this one particular template that you've just purchased, is you go up here and you go to duplicate. It looks like two little pages and the front page has a plus sign on it. So that's my recommendation, is to do that. The other thing that you could do is go up into your file here. You could drop down and you can save a copy. Whichever way you want to do it is fine. But then you have a lot of Canva creations on your dashboard and it gets a little confusing. So it's nice to kind of keep things all in one. So let's do a duplicate here, like I mentioned. So we're going to duplicate the template. So you have the original one right here that you're not going to change, and then you're going to have the second one right here. So let's go down to, today we're not going to mess around with any of the top design. We're just going to leave it the way it is. Let's say you like it that way. You like the colors, you like the sayings, you like all that stuff. Oh, and something very important to know about our templates. If you purchase a template from us, what I recommend you do is also go over here to the little notes section. Many times we will put other sayings for you to use. Maybe you don't like the saying, "I hope you have a ball this summer." Maybe you want to put something else. We will put in the notes sections on occasion different sayings that you can put onto your tags so that you don't have to recreate the wheel and look for a new saying. And maybe you will do that, but this is a place where you can go and get some other ideas. So, okay, so let's move on to our template. You like the way it is, you like the saying and everything else. You can change fonts and do whatever, but let's say we're not going to do that. Right now, all you want to do is keep the template, but you want to change maybe you want to change the color down here. You obviously want to change all this information, put your logo in there, and then off you go. So let's start with your headshot. So obviously this is a placeholder headshot that we use for our templates, and it's not something you want to use for you. What you want to do is you want to click the headshot. You're going to see a purple square around it, and you're going to see all the little pull dots and everything. All you want to do is click it, and then you want to press delete. Now what you're going to see is you're going to see the typical Canva frame that has the blue sky and the green hills. Just so you know, this is what they call a clipping frame. It's a clipping frame. So you want to just leave it right there. It's fine that it's there. When you hover pictures over it, it will pull it into the document. So let me show you how to do that. So this is your document now, and you have uploaded your headshot. Your headshot is in your uploads somewhere. Let me just find a headshot here for you to use. Something really quick. Actually, let's just use my daughter. Okay, so you're going to click over here on this, and you're going to click your headshot. Now, you don't want to just click it with your mouse or however you're doing it. With these clipping frames, the best way to use them is drag and drop. That's the best way to use it. Other things are okay to click and let it just load into the design, but not clipping frames. You want to drag and drop. So you're going to take this, take your headshot, and see it's going to highlight the whole design, but you see how it goes dark in the circle. Now let go of your mouse. And there you go. It easily places right here. Now let's say you don't like the, way it's centered. If you double click the picture, let's say your head was cut off or whatever, you can narrow down the design. You can move it up and down. Maybe you want a little bit more shoulder, maybe you want a little less. You can do it, but you have to double click the picture for that to do it. If you don't double click the picture, it's going to move around the whole circle. So that's how you take care of your headshot. All right, let's go over and let's fix our logo, because this is just a placeholder logo and you don't want that there. So let's go. Hopefully you have loaded your logo into Canva for you to use. So let me find a logo here. Let's use this one. Okay, so you can just click your logo. You don't have to drag and drop. But when you click it, it's going to load right into the center of a document. That's what it always does. It's going to load. If you are not very versed in Canva yet, which you guys will be after you've watched a couple of our videos, my recommendation to you, instead of dragging and dropping, because if you try to drag it and it somehow selects other parts of the design, it's going to move the design all over the place, because our designs are very editable. So you can move everything all around. So what you want to do, instead of using your mouse and your pointer, is you want to use your up and down arrows on your keyboard. See how I'm moving that down? Once you've got it down and you've selected it, then grab the circle corner. Don't grab the sidelines, only the circle corners. And you want to slowly kind of narrow it down to a smaller image. Drag it and pull it over. Narrow it down just a tiny little bit, and then you can get it centered. Now, if you see the purple lines that highlight, those are centering lines. So if you'll notice, there's a centering line right here that kind of is centering between all of this. So if you like it that way, you can move it however you want, maybe or center it to the information on the right or the left. That's how you want to do it. Okay, so that looks like a pretty good size to me. Let's just leave it about right there, and then let's move on to changing the information on the template. So obviously you're not Sarah Jones. Let's change your name. The best way to change the name is double click it, in my opinion. So double click. Let's say your name is Clara Smith, and now your name is all changed. You can change the color of your name, which I will do in another video, but you can do all sorts of things. You're a realtor, let's say. Your cell phone number, I would not double click on the cell phone number. I would just click and put your cursor right there so that you can do a backspace and change the number. Let's just say it's 1122, or you can go even further. And then here's where a lot of people get stuck. So I want to show you how to do this because it's really important. This is not your email address, but let's say your email address is a lot longer than one that you would get in a template. So let's type in Clara at, put my cursor there, Best Homes Realty. Now see how that did not fit in the area of the template. So what you want to do here is you leave the box. Do not, if you'll notice, you'll see dots, line, dot. You do not want to use the dots on this one, because when you do that, it stretches and pulls the design and makes the font bigger. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is you only want to use the line. Put your cursor over the long line in the center of the 2 dots and pull it and stretch it a little bit. It doesn't stretch the name, it just stretches the box so that it can fit. But then you're saying, well, wait a minute, now it's covering my logo and it's covering some other stuff. That's okay. Let me show you how to fix that. So now you've got this. Let's do what's called a grouping. A grouping is helpful because right now, all these things kind of look sort of lined up. You want to line them up. So the way you do that is you click the first box, then you hold down the shift key. Click, click, click. Sometimes if it doesn't sense it, you want to let go of the shift key. It won't unlock these, and then try to hold down the shift key again and find it. Now, this is selected as a set. You can do what's called grouping. I like to use grouping all the time because it moves things around and it keeps them all in one place. But before we group this, because we just made the email address longer than the original one that was on the template, you want to center all of these. So what you do is you go up here to position. If you see the word position up here, click position. Then you're going to come over here to the left and you're going to see middle, top, left, center, bottom, right. You don't want to do any of the things except for center. You're centering just those 4 lines to themselves. Center. Hold on, that one moved. Okay, so now it's all centered with each other, but it is over a little bit. But here's the nice thing. Let's click them all again. Now that these are all centered, you want to group them. So click group. Now it's one big box. See how they move all together? So you can move them all around. You can move them to the left, to the right, however you want to do it. Right now, I kind of feel like this logo needs to move over a tiny bit. And this needs to move over a tiny bit. Maybe a little bit that way. And then that kind of looks good, but you can do it however you want. I don't like to put things on the edge too far to the edge because you never know how you may or may not want to do your cutting and things like that. And you could probably move this over just a tiny bit if you wanted to, but I wouldn't move it over too much. All right, let's go over to the email, the website over here. So let's say Best Homes Realty. Again, here we are. It's too long for this line. So again, you want to grab the line in the center of the 2 dots only and stretch it. Now you can move your logo over a smidge. You can move this over a smidge. If you don't like your logo, if it's too big, you can click it and make it a smidge smaller so that it kind of lines up better. And now you've gotten everything kind of lined up here. Now, let's say that you don't feel this is centered. Again, let's go back to the centering. You've got it highlighted. Hold down your shift key, select the box below, hold down your shift key, select the box below, go up to position, click center, and now everything's centered. And once you've centered it all, you can group it. Now this will move all over just on its own without disturbing any of the other boxes or them not lining up. Okay, I hope that helps with just changing the basics of the template. Once you have these, here's another thing you could do. You could select them all. This is what I do when I create the templates is you'll click the picture, all the information, the logo, all the information on the right, go up to position and center. Oh, sorry. You don't want to do center. You want to do middle. Middle all of them. And that way you have everything kind of lined up nicely and then you're ready to go. But let's say you want a different color. So you have multiple colors in this design. Greens, reds, blues, yellows, you have all of them. Let's say you want to use green, but the green in the pail, the sand pail that's here. So what you want to do is you want to select the blue. This is a box here at the bottom, and see how it's selected, and up here you will see the color of the box is blue. You want to click on that box And let's say the colors that are here in this palette are not the colors that you want. I think this green is pretty close to the color of the sand pail, but let's say that's not the color that you want. You can do a picker. So this little thing in the corner with the plus sign is a picker. Select the picker, select the little dropper, and hover it over the pail. Now you see there's a nice green there. You want to select that, and there you go. Boom. You've changed the color of the template down below to a nice green color instead of the sea blue, because maybe this is more representative of your brand or whatever it may be. So let's say this all looks really, really good to you. You've put your headshot in. You've got your name and all your contact information correct. You've got your logo. You've got all your contact information on the right. Some people need to have their license number on document or on any kind of things that they hand out. You may or may not need your license number. It depends state by state. And you like your design. Now you are ready to go to print. So watch our next video on having your template all ready to go and getting it all print ready. And now you're going to download it and get it over into print. I hope this helps. Look forward to seeing you on our next video, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.